Hello everyone and welcome back to Clover Knows Pets. I'm Clover and today I'm going to be showing you how to make fresh chop for parrots or other birds. If you don't know what chop is, it's basically a mixture of freshly chopped vegetables, sometimes healthy grains, seeds, and legumes, and sometimes fruits. This should be a big part of any bird's diet, primarily parrots though, so things like parakeets, also known as budgies, should have this as at least 60% of their diet, and same with other birds such as macaws, cockatiels, amazons, African greys, ringnecks, lovebirds, anything like that. And it's also going to be good to be offering this sort of stuff for things like finches and other non-parrots. Anyways, let's get started. Starting with the ingredients, we're going to be using bell peppers, sugar snap peas, carrot, broccoli, spring mix, and if you're wondering, here are some of the ingredients on that: cauliflower, strawberries, mango, cooked black beans, goji berries, fenugreek seed, French lentils, and finally Mikey and Mia's flour mix or botanical mix. Alright, you don't have to do this first step. I just do it because I do have a place for this food waste to go. But I'm just going to chop off any non-great bits or things that I don't really want to feed the birds. Things like the end of this broccoli or some of the pieces of these peas. It's perfectly good food, there's nothing wrong with it. But I keep reptiles and exotic roaches, so I always have I keep reptiles and exotic rodents, so I always have dubia roaches and mealworms around, and they eat this stuff. So the scraps will go to them and not be wasted. Another option, if you don't have random insects laying around, is a compost pile or a compost bin. Otherwise, just feed it to your birds. There's nothing truly wrong with it. It's just being picky. There we go. Toss those in here. Now the next step is obviously to chop your veggies. Now, depending on the size of your bird and your bird's general preference, you're going to want to chop it in either larger or smaller chunks. Keep in mind there are some tiny birds like canaries, finches, or budgies that love whole veggies like this or really thick pieces. And there are some large birds like large cockatoos and macaws that love really finely chopped pieces. So big bird does not equal big pieces, small bird does not equal small pieces. Just experiment and see what your bird's like. Also, it is worth mentioning that seeds of a bell pepper are perfectly safe for your birds, and lots of birds actually love them, so definitely keep those in. And if you don't want to hand chop, food processors are also really good options, but unless you're looking for a smoothie, do not use a blender. Keep in mind the shape of your veggies can also add enrichment into your bird's diet, because they get to articulate them in different ways and move about them and eat them differently. Now that I'm done with the sugar snap peas, moving on to the broccoli. For broccoli, I like to get rid of all of these balls at the top, or at least separate them. For some reason, my birds really love to take them apart. So I just cut straight off, and they come off as individuals, which my birds really like. But of course, I also do want some larger pieces and some stem in there too. As for carrot or other hard veggies that you might end up using, grating them on the fine part of a grater is actually pretty cool, because since carrot is such a strong veggie, it gets really stringy, and for some reason birds tend to really love it. I've tried it with a ton of different species. Tried it with finches, budgies, cockatoos, cockatiels, a macaw, and yeah, they all chose this over chopped. But I unfortunately broke my grater, so I will be chopping it. There we go. Next, I'm gonna do the same to the cauliflower as I did to the broccoli. There we go. Gonna scoot all of these veggies over. And if you're wondering, yes, my cutting board is indeed cracked in half. Yeah, that's what having parrots does to you. As for the spring mix, I just like to bunch it up into a tight ball. Just make sure I'm not squishing the veggies, obviously, and then just cut it a few times. That way we get these long stringy bits, just like I mentioned with the carrots. There we go. Moving on to the fruit in the mix. I just chopped off the tops and then chopped up a piece of mango. Now for fruits, it's pretty hard to chop it small without it getting really slimy, so I do these in larger chunks. But you could also do stringy bits like I mentioned before. So for the stringy bits, I basically just finely chop a piece of strawberry and then cut it up even more. Pretty simple. And I do the same thing with the mango. But like I said, variety is best, so make sure you have different shapes and sizes. Then add your cooked black beans. They have to be cooked because if not, they contain a toxin that is harmful to birds and basically everything, including humans. Follow that up with goji berries, fenugreek seeds, French lentils, and finally the Mikey and Mia foraging mix / botanical mix / flower mix. I honestly don't remember what it's called. Now all that's left to do is take a bunch of pictures of it so you can brag about your awesome bird care and recipes. Stir it up and serve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!